This podcast is about how to get over the winter blues, the winter blahs, whatever you want to call them. A lot of people have problems dealing with stress, emotion, depression, that kind of thing. This time of year especially, it's so cloudy and the days are really so short, and people go back and look at folks who they've lost in their family or friends over the last year, and it's just really kind of sad. So with that in mind, we'll be talking with Leah DeMarist, who is a counselor, and you can find her online. We'll be explaining all that a little bit later on. She's actually originally from Newton, and she does a good job explaining how you can kind of deal with these things during this time of year. But first, a word from our sponsors. I want to thank Ryan's Tire and Auto, who's been with us since the get-go of this podcast. And they say as 2024 comes to a close, they want to express their heartfelt gratitude to all their amazing customers. They say your trust and support have made this year truly special, and they're honored to be your go-to for all your automotive needs. It's Ryan's Tire and Auto on First Avenue in Newton. You might have heard that I'm now working for WHO Radio, and I'm going to continue to live in Newton and do this podcast. And before I started driving back and forth between Newton and Des Moines on Interstate 80, I had Ryan's do some winterization on my car and make sure everything was ready to go with the antifreeze, with the tires, windshield wipers, and all that, and they did a great job with that. So they'll do a good job for you too at Ryan's Tire and Auto, First Avenue in Newton. Also sponsored by Tony Pesca. She's a realtor with Iowa Realty. Check her out. If you have any houses you want to buy or sell, hey, her number is 641-417-8484, 641-417-8484. And also by Newton Des Moines East KOA.
Dinner, Death, and Diamonds. Join Iowa Chef of the Year Aaron Holt from Doolittle Farm and the team at Alta House Event Center for an unforgettable dinner and murder mystery experience in Newton on Saturday, February 15th. This Valentine's Day, step into the world of Regency-era elegance and intrigue. The event includes an exquisite farm-to-table dinner from Chef Aaron Holt, a signature drink ticket and full bar available, delectable chocolates to savor, and diamond play, an opportunity to try your hand for a genuine diamond. You'll be swept up in a night where love, scandal, and murder collide. Join us on February 15th at the Death and Diamonds Murder Mystery Dinner Experience at Alta House Event Center in Newton. Act now, as tickets are limited and selling quickly for this one-of-a-kind event. More information is available at deathanddiamonds.com.
This podcast is about how to get over the winter blahs, and I'm with Leah DeMarist, who is with Flourishing Engagements, and you can find her online. She does a lot of her counseling online or in Zoom calls and whatnot, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But boy, I'll tell you what, I attend church services online from time to time, and I belong to the First United Methodist Church in Newton, Leah, and I was watching the week of Christmas, and so many people wanted prayers and had special needs that they were going through. And this is a rough time of year for a lot of people. And they've had to deal with a lot of different issues, whether it be with family or friends or whatnot. So maybe you could touch on how people could get over the winter blahs, the holiday blahs, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of times it's due to issues with family. So, different relationships, having stress in relationships, losing a loved one. With those types of things, it's really just having improved communication with in the relationships, but then also reminding yourself of how much you can control, right? So we have our own realm of control where we can control our own thoughts, feelings, emotions, and behaviors, but we can't control someone else's. So we have to be okay with, we communicate with those people our thoughts and feelings, but we can't control how they respond. Mm-hmm. If our winter blues doesn't really have a lot to do with relationships and things like that, sometimes it's just, we're we're lonely. We don't have a lot going on. There's not a lot to do as opposed to in the summer. And so things that can help improve our mood during that time is trying to get out and exercising. So whether that's finding a YouTube yoga channel or something that you can do at home, getting a gym membership, reaching out to those friends and family that you are close with and doing things with them, whether at home or at their house, or even having a phone call, creating those relationships.
What about sunlight, too? It's proven that we just don't have a lot of sunlight in the wintertime. How can we deal with the lack of sunshine? We need our vitamin D.
Absolutely. So vitamin D is one big thing. So taking a multivitamin, because that has all the vitamins that we need in regard for mental health, and especially the vitamin D. If we feel like we take a multivitamin and we're still getting a little bit of winter blues, adding maybe a vitamin D supplement or finding foods that are rich in vitamin D. There are also these lamps now. They're called vitamin D lamps. And they can be like the size of like an iPad. Those are the more affordable type ones, but they're all also like full size. They look like a door almost. So those ones are more expensive, but they're called vitamin D iPads. You can get them on Amazon. Spend 10 minutes in front of one of those. I can give you that vitamin D as well. But yeah, just it's diet and exercise and vitamins.
Okay, so diet. You talked about getting foods that are rich in vitamin D. Can you give us some recommendations on that, Leah?
Absolutely. So good foods, for the mental health is anything with that would be green, like green vegetables, leafy greens. Fish is also a good one for those types of things. Really, it's a lot of different types of vegetables, but that would be basically where I would start is the fish and leafy greens, any green vegetable. That will help with your mental health tremendously.
What is it about exercise, Leah, that helps us be in a better mood?
Yeah, so exercise gives you those good feeling chemicals, so those endorphins that to go to your brain. So it increases that serotonin level. When our serotonin drops, that's when we tend to have the change in mood. And when we exercise, it gets that blood going. The more blood flow we have, it kicks those neurotransmitters, setting off the serotonin, and then it just gives us that natural boost.
All right. I guess I wanted to talk about the news and the way of the world and whatnot. And I have a friend who cannot watch the news because it affects them. Now, they already have depression to deal with, and they're on some medication for that. But if they watch the news and see how bad things are going, they take it personally. It becomes something that they cannot get over. I think, and maybe I shouldn't use the word normal, but a lot of people, myself included, can watch the news and I can go, oh, geez, that's terrible or whatever, but it not affect me personally. How can people keep from that happening if they are, if you want to call them an empath or somebody that's feeling other people's pain and are going through some of these things?
Yeah, the news definitely does affect a lot of people. I think trying to take it in stride, trying to limit it, not watching it as often, but giving yourself a little bit of the dose of the news so that you get that information. When it does feel like it affects you, it kind of goes back to that realm of control, thinking about like, okay, well, I can't control this as a whole, but what in my life can I control? So in my little circle of this world, how do I make that a better place? So this stuff all around the world, I'm one person. I can't make that big of an impact. And when we see all these sad things on the news and things like that, trying to remember that that stuff happens. There's not a lot you can do about it, but you can affect your realm of the world. And, if it affects you a whole bunch, limit yourself, but you still need to get that information.
Yeah, and that's the hard part, is getting the information, but yet not letting it affect you personally. If you are a person that brings a question about people like me. If I'm watching the news and it doesn't get me down, is there something wrong with me?
No, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just that different things affect everybody differently. Same thing with like if we go through a traumatic event, right? There could be siblings that go through the same traumatic event, but it affects us differently because we think differently. And so there's nothing wrong with you if it doesn't affect you. It just means that maybe you do exercise more or you have more of those vitamins that we need for general mental health. And when maybe we're deficient in that or we're just a generally happy person, it doesn't affect us as much. But if we do struggle with depression, and that's just one more thing, that's a negative thing that our brain clings on to. So when we're already feeling depressed and we're watching the news, we got to just do the normal things that we would do to help our mental health is the realm of control, and then deciding, well, maybe I need to go do some more exercise or let me go eat a healthy meal to help my mental health as a whole so that maybe that's not going to affect me as much.
How does a person know when they need to have counseling?
Yeah. Well, when it affects your daily life. So
Like on a consistent basis?
yeah, when it's consistent. So when you're realizing, oh gosh, it's I'm sleeping so much more. I have such intense fatigue that the idea of getting household chores done, even, it can feel very heavy to do that. So when it's hard for you to get some of those household chores done, you're isolating, you're not talking with friends and family, not going out. When it affects your daily life, if it's affecting work, social life, and like household, general stuff, it affects all those things, then that means, okay, there's probably something more than just sadness or blahs. That means you probably need to talk to somebody, maybe see your general practitioner to get a medication or something like that.
Leah, would that also be the case if you're not getting enough sleep and you go to bed at night and you just can't shut your brain off?
Yes, and it's the same thing. That would be an anxiety response, and so if you're unable to fall asleep, that's because your brain is constantly going, and it's due to anxiety, and also like lack of appetite, over appetite, all those things. If it's a shift, especially like if that's something that you've always had, okay, maybe it's something else, maybe it's another medical issue. But if it's a shift, and all of a sudden, I'm eating more, or eating less, I can't sleep, or I'm sleeping too much, that type of thing, then that's when you realize, okay, something's changing, I need to go seek help.
All right. Fantastic. Any other tips for getting rid of the winter blahs other than warming the temperatures up and hoping for less snow and spring to come a little bit early?
Yeah, it's just general mental health, so staying connected with those people who you feel love and support you, getting out and doing your hobbies, doing things that you feel like you enjoy, exercise, and vitamins.
All right. Our interview guest has been Leah DeMarist, who is with Flourishing Engagements. And how can people find you?
Yep, you can find me on Facebook. It's just Flourishing Engagements. On Facebook, it's flourishing_engagements. And on there, you will have my phone number, the different ways to contact me via email and online.
All right. Thanks for talking with us today.
Are you feeling financially drained? Tired of high interest rates and endless debt? Fear not, your financial superhero has arrived. Advantage Credit Union is here to rescue you from financial distress. With our powerful loan refinancing options, you could lower your monthly payments, shorten your loan term, and free up cash for a brighter future. Unleash your financial superpower today. Call us at 641-792-5660 or apply online at acuiowa.org.
Subject to credit approval, terms and conditions may apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by NCUA.
This podcast also sponsored by Newton Clinic, and they want you to know that they are hiring a Newton Clinic. They're looking for a welcoming and organized front desk professional to join their team. If you're passionate about helping others, apply today by sending your resume to mark@newtonclinic.com. Also sponsored by the fine folks at Pizza Ranch in Newton, with that Sunday brunch going on at 9 o'clock on Saturday and Sunday mornings. Lynette Baker, Halo Branded Solutions. Also by Free Classified Weekly, Westside Java Coffee Bar, and Park Center. Until next time, out is out. See ya.